Good morning. I'd like to call the February 5th, no, this isn't the February 5th, the March 5th, 2019 bid board meeting to order. We have a quorum, and I'd like a motion to approve the minutes from February 5th.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion and a second from Brian. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Financial report, Adam.
All right, so you will see that under the revised budget, you have 107,259, with an actual of 6,675 and 3 cents. Total encumbrances to date are 13,713, and available 86,870.97.
Any questions? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the financials.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So item 2 and 3 on our agenda, both individuals from those two items contacted Adam last night, and they will not be here. So we will move on to number 4, which is a presentation from Roots and Branches. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm pleased that I can get on right away because I have another meeting, so thank you. We're happy again this growing season, this summer coming up very soon, I think. I hope, we all hope, to be working with the bid board again and the city and keeping our downtown, actually continuing to grow our downtown to improve it even more each year, and I think we're doing that. And this year we're really looking at making some leaps and bounds and having more of a wow downtown than we've done in the past. We've the last couple of years, we've pulled in some gardens that haven't been cared for a long time, and we've cleaned up some other things, and we have a little bit more of that to do. But did you all get this proposal so you see? All right, I'll just go over the financial part of it quickly and then see if you have any questions. And again, these are, we've had estimates, but they're sort of approximate, and we try not to spend as much as we're even asking for. But the first item is our baskets, which really we used to have them hanging, if you remember, years ago, and I think the Downtown Association did it at that time. And that was problematic because you can't have volunteers watering hanging baskets, so it necessitated paying for that either by city crew or paying outright. So we have them now on the stands, as you know, and we have 13 of them downtown. And we're going to add 4 more this year that I think will add. I think the baskets really do add a lot downtown. And last year I wasn't as happy with how they looked, and we have a new grower, and we're hoping to have something that wow factor this year, I'm hoping. And we also had, some of you may be aware that we had some damage to a couple of the posts in front of Hussars. They were knocked over probably by a car or something. I'm not sure what happened, but
It was a truck that went over the top of them.
Truck, okay. Well, they have to be completely replaced. They will have to be replaced, and so that's going to cost a little bit of money. And then if we have 4 new baskets, we have some more expense there. So we've put in $2,500 for baskets. And annuals, $1,200, and that includes the couple of planters we have in front of Riverside and Apple Barrel that we added a few years back. And the next item, we've added fertilizer. We're told by the growers, and especially the new grower that we have, that we really have to not just have the fertilizer in the soil in the beginning, but periodically fertilize during the growing season, and that may be partly why the baskets haven't been the wow that we had hoped for, the lasting wow that we'd hoped for. So that comes to $4,500. We put $3,000 in there in case we do need watering. If there's a terrible drought or we have some terrible problems with volunteers having to back off. The water, the plants, especially the baskets, have to be watered no matter what. But that's just a safety feature there. So I don't know if you had any questions when you looked at this initially or at this point. Okay. All right, well, we look forward to, we have a date set, and you saw this picture on the front of our proposal, which are some of our businesses, some of our property owners, some of our volunteers, and we have a date again this year for that cleanup plant mulch day that the city participates in, and they bring their trucks and their equipment and some of their staff, and we really get a good start early on, and so that date this year is May 20th. And any of you who are downtown or can be available that day to come out and cheer them on or pitch in or whatever, we appreciate it. So if no questions, that's all I have.
So the other question I have is, and I don't know if anybody knows the answer to this, is what's happening on the east side of the river? Is there anything that we should be looking at maybe into the future for that?
You know, we're not involved with anything at the east side of the river at this point. I know we have purchased a couple of trees and then put them up for auction in our event in September to help. That helps us earn the money from the trees, but also purchases a few trees for the river walk. But we aren't involved at this point.
I just have an aesthetic question about the mulch that we put down there. I realize we get it for nothing from the city, and I know that Tony and I have a dark chocolate-covered mulch that probably would enhance the overall look down there. I wonder if it'd be possible to look into maybe getting something like that rather than the just chip bark that we have.
Thank you for bringing that up, and we put something in there to consider that. Probably not right away in every bed, but I know the one that's the most obvious is the one right across from your place, Tony, where you water the one basket and Muggles waters the other basket with that little banana-shaped berm. Yours always looks wonderful and the other side doesn't, and I think partly because of the mulch, and we didn't have any volunteers last year. We finally got it cleaned up by the end of the summer. But that would be a place where we'd try to have some better mulch so it looked the same on both sides of the road. The other place might be the north end, just before Highway 33 with that roundabout there. We're looking at putting some better mulch in there. The volunteers have requested it. Places that may not need it would be in front of Hussars, where we have that center berm, which always looks very nice, but it's jam-packed with shrubs and perennials and the baskets and the flowers, and you really don't even hardly see the mulch there. So it isn't quite an issue for the visual effect, but we are looking in it to begin doing that to some extent to see how expensive it might be.
Surely, just an FYI, I've instructed Scotts to take over that side under my contract too, so that looks the same.
That's
for this
wonderful.
season. Somehow it got miscommunicated last season and it wasn't done, but it will be going forward.
Thank you. We did have some volunteers that went in and got rid of a lot of milkweed, which a lot of people feel very strongly about because the butterflies, look for the milkweed, and but we don't think milkweed belongs downtown. So we cleaned out a lot of that stuff. So hopefully it won't be so much of a problem this year. But thank you for that, because I've hoped that would work out, because yours always looks nice and the other side doesn't, and it should be the same.
It will.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, if there's any questions, otherwise we just need a motion to approve the budget for Roots and Branches.
Motion to approve.
Thank you all.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Last item on the agenda is Commons Task Force update. Peggy.
We met, and we've got a really good a good group of people, and what we're looking to really kind of do with the group is just come up with some ideas. And the one that we're working on, I think, which is in the forefront of the whole idea of the information we got from the Commons, was to create an entrepreneurial, sorry, that's a hard word, entrepreneurial grant, and which would encourage people to come into the downtown and start businesses. And we each are going to get people that we know in the community that will hopefully commit their time or resources in order to assist in kind of putting together a package that would include all of that, so that we can present that to people, and hopefully they will, help the downtown continue to grow.
Okay, anybody have any questions of?
Peggy, in regards to that, do you have any vision for this packet to include, is it going to be like a, hey, here's why you should do business in downtown West Bend sort of thing, with maybe demographic information about the city and different opportunities that our city allows potential businesses?
Yeah, I think, Mike, that all of that's going to be in there. I think the main focus, though, is on if you think about what it takes for a new person to come into a business, and learning that, the legal aspects, the marketing aspects, the social media aspects, all of that kind of stuff, to at least, somebody who's brand new, and then perhaps they can utilize some of the office space that we have downtown, whether it be storefront or office space. It's just to continue to help to fill the empty spaces that we have down there, which isn't a ton. But we're kind of seeing that as being a unique opportunity, because there are, as far as we know, no other communities that are doing something like that.
So like a mentoring program.
Correct.
And okay, that's
Correct.
really great. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I would just like to comment, if I could. When the group got together, we were trying to assemble a package, I guess we'll call it, and with all the business owners here on the bid, I'm approaching a number in my industry to throw something in that package to excite business to locate. Original goal was to fill space downtown and bring people downtown, so that would be accomplished by finding that right business that deserves that grant. If the business owners on this panel or anyone tuning in can offer to throw something in, whether it's a restaurateur that can host some of these mentor lunches, if it's even a discount at a hardware store, I will have legal and accounting and financial all in there. So if anyone can step up, and I'll be willing to throw something in. If it was office space, even if it's subsidized or free for 6 months, or some way to give that business owner an opportunity to step in to the community and start their business and get some help doing that, in addition to bring consumers downtown. That's the goal.
Great. Any other comments or questions?
I guess one more thing, Mike. So Peggy, are you, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but is there one thing that you're kind of going with and running with and then leaving the rest on a back burner, or are you dismissing the rest of the ideas, or are you just kind of formulating one thing at a time at this point?
I would say that we came to this conclusion at the last meeting. Like, this is where we want to start, is with this grant program. And then that's going to be hopefully built on, as it grows, but we need to have the root of it start. So that's going to be with the mentoring program, and trying to get people to, really understand what it means to have a successful business, so that we don't have people coming in for 6 months and opening something and leaving because they, didn't plan accordingly.
Just additional comment, we did talk about events also, which so a lot of the Commons was event-driven, and I think the West Bend Downtown Association was going to kind of step up and continue that. So really attacking it from two sides.
So has there been conversation, I know like in some of them, there was the recommendation of creating little parklets for the restaurants, dog-friendly for the Riverwalk and all that. Is there any conversation going on with any of those parts?
I think we kind of put those off to the side. We did, because we wanted to create something that was different than everything else. We have a very friendly downtown. We have some great events. The Downtown Association got a few ideas out of it to even, possibly do a few more events. But we didn't want to step on what they're already doing, and they do a great job of it, so that we didn't feel that that was our goal from the information from the Commons. It wasn't to create more events for the Downtown Association. They're already doing that.
No, I'm not talking the events. I'm talking the parklets, which were moving the restaurant onto taking some of the parking lot spots. So like Brazen Head, for example, could put a little area out in front on the street where they would have waiter or waitress service, and you could go out and sit outside and enjoy a burger and a beer or whatever. I know that was one of the recommendations, and then the other one was to make it dog-friendly. And I don't know, I mean, if your group's not going to go that direction, I think some other people want to go that, propose some of that, so that way I can give some direction to.
I don't know, Adam, you administered it all. I don't think that the group was really leaning towards discussing a whole big dog-friendly idea with the park system.
No, we went over some themes, and one of them definitely was the dog-friendly aspect of it all. And I can speak to that too, that the Parks Commission did recently meet and discuss the Riverwalk being more dog-friendly, and that looks like it's going towards a positive direction. Kind of a side note, but also plays into this, just showing more support for that. The parklet thing, whatever group that you think wants to kind of attack this, then I can discuss with them, and then any other little aspects, they can get in touch with me. And as our group continues to pull out that information, it's turning into a lot of making the right connections downtown to that can kind of take on these tasks. Yes, it was recommended. Yes, it was a great idea. Who can spend the time, effort, energy, that sort of thing on these types of things?
Oh, that's fine. I guess I'm just kind of jumping off of what Mike was saying, is are we going to put the rest of because there's a lot of stuff in there, that hopefully we don't forget over time.
Mike, I think that at that Commons meeting, a lot of stuff was suggested along the river and changing a lot of things on the back of the buildings also. And, the parks and the dog-friendly and expanding the restaurants in that direction. I think that it would be nice if you guys coordinated, with Craig Hepner and, the River Committee and incorporated some of that stuff also down the road. Mm-hmm. So.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. I'm assuming you guys are still have meetings, so we can leave this on the agenda if you think it's necessary for monthly updates. I'll leave that up to Adam to decide what he wants, if it needs to be on or off. So with that, I'll take any suggestions for the next meeting agenda items.
Mike, I have a request from a business owner downtown, the Muggles group. And I know they've been in contact with Doug regarding their trash receptacle situation. They're very curious what the best way to clean up their area is. They think a carriage of some sort or a surrounding, a fenced-in area would be ideal in that situation. It's really an eyesore as you approach the downtown from the south on Main Street, or if you're, coming in that direction. So I don't know if it's something that we can talk about, or if it's just something that we can address directly with Doug. But I know they don't like the way it looks, and it just gets packed full and overfilling, and they would like to figure out a way to properly clean it up.
So do they want to come and present something to us, or is that what you're asking for?
I think they're looking for some direction as to what some of their options might be. They're certainly willing to cover at least for sure a portion of the cost, but they're not sure if it needs to fit into an aesthetic that we have in place, or where it can be located. and, who they should deal with in order to contract that out or get it taken care of.
Can I make a suggestion? You might want to touch base with who's their collector first. I know that with my bins, I've let a number of neighbors use my alleyway to put their bins there, and because there's such a strong wind so many times, I have put a chain on mine so that it doesn't blow down into the river. And the collectors even complained about that because they have to unchain it. So if you fence it in, you might want to make sure first they'll deal with that, I would hope, because you're right, it is a unpleasant looking little area. So it'd be great to be able to do that, but they're
And I
gonna have to
want
commit.
everybody to know that they're trying to stay ahead of this, and it's been an issue, but they don't, they'd rather solve the issue than continue it or allow it to continue.
Okay, so because it's not on the agenda, we'll put it on the agenda and then we can talk about it at the next meeting, but.
That's what I was hoping, that we can start maybe thinking about that and
And I
then give
would
Doug
maybe
some.
reach out to them and ask them to come to the meeting as well.
That sounds great. I'll do that, and potentially, I'll invite them to the very next meeting, and hopefully they have some comments and are willing to take some advice.
Okay.
Adam, for the next meeting, I just want to reference that was the topic of conversation about 4 years ago. The city has some proposals for trash receptacles that the bid discussed. But if you dug back through, you could find some good reference material.
Anything else?
Just, where are we at with the bike racks? I know we tabled that a while back, and I don't recall exactly where we left off at.
Yeah, we don't really have any movement on those because it was, what was it? It was about 3 months to get those through, from the moment of purchase to when they get delivered. And we tabled it because we discussed it in November, I believe, and it just timing-wise didn't make any sense.
So let's put that on the agenda as well. Okay, if there's nothing else, look for a motion to adjourn. Second. We don't have a motion yet.
So moved.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, everybody.
Have time Friday, Saturday, because I finally got a life back, kind of. One more weekend of hardly, but I'm working. Right, I mean, I'm just trying to make, drop off my children.
Other people want to get away, and actually, it doesn't. Just super cool. They don't know.
I'll work on those. Did we get any more? Yes. We did. Did you put them in there? Perfect. I'll work on all that now. Okay, see you there. Oh, that's fine. Because I know I was like, I just wanted to.
I can't really talk about this. That's why I really can't do it. It's their problem. I agree. But I couldn't say that.
The way I was approached was they wanted to put it in the parking lot, and I don't pull the parking lot the first time, so.
Originally, if you go back into the notes, there was like 6 months discussion on the truck, the dumpster, and they were gonna spend $20,000. They wanted to spend $20,000 to build, take 3 parking spots away from that lot and put in this whole big thing. And it ultimately came down to your problem, and the city didn't want to give up the revenue from the 3 stalls, which I get. And personally, dumpsters are overflowing, you gotta get them empty. My opinion, but
It's just where they.
I don't think it's a big
It
issue.
does look